Hey Gemini, welcome to your April 2025 monthly reading. We're just going to go ahead and get started here and jump straight in. I hope you're doing well. Let's take a look here. Also, if you're interested in booking a personal reading with me, that link is down below in the description. Let's take a look at Gemini, what we got. I feel like April is the month. There's a gift for you in the month of April. A gift from the divine that's offering you a chance to step through a portal here. You may be like, Austin, what the hell are you talking about? I'm for real. I feel like there's this divine pivotal moment for you in April that you may actually fucking miss the opportunity that will initiate you into a whole new world. That will allow for you to close the door on past cycles and chapters, and for you to establish and create new ones. You may be like, Austin, what are you talking about? All right. We'll go more into detail here in a moment, but yeah. I think right now I see in your current energy, I'm going to go through the tarot here in a moment. But I see in your current energy, it's like I feel like it's been hard for you to really find like that consistent rhythm of emotional happiness and joy, or just even contentness, right? I think right now it's like something feels like it's missing, or you could be feeling bummed out as well. Possibly lacking inspiration and motivation as well as what I'm seeing here. Look, Gemini, I feel like for you, I gotta be real with this read. You gotta be a Gemini. What is Gemini? Well, Gemini's a lot of things, but Gemini, you're inventive. It's not just Aquarius that's inventive, you're inventive. You're the sign that knows how to put things together really quickly and understand things, pattern recognition, establish and create new ideas. That's what you got to do here in the month of April. Specifically when it comes to your identity, who you want to be in the world, with the world card being the overall energy. All this North Node energy going on in your 10th house. 10th house is the world, the public, your career, who you are, who you want to be. This is the time for you to really establish and create and take your throne here, Gemini. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna pull your oracle cards and then we're gonna jump in. But yeah, it's time for you to innovate here and reinvent yourself, Gemini. I get it. I fucking get it, Gemini. I get it. Shit's been tiring. It's been tiring. It's been exhausting. Right now, you're looking for just emotional comfort and joy. And you could be feeling very uncomfortable at this time. But I feel like I'm going to show you something here in this read. I feel like the opportunity is right in your face. You got to reach out and grab it. Let's see here, Gemini. You pulled this Mercury card. It says mind here. Well, that's very fucking interesting because you rule Mercury. It is a Mercury retrograde that we're in. Mercury does come direct though this month. I think it's April 7th when Mercury comes direct, your ruling planet. So in a way, it's in Aries at this time. Aries does deal with our sense of self and our identity. It's in your 11th house, if you want to get more specific. Your identity and where you fit in regards to communities and groups and your career, and wondering, where your place is in the world and how you can enjoy yourself better. And I think with this Mercury card, there's a lot of thinking you've been doing here. A lot of thinking, but it's like there's a lot of thinking, but what I think you're looking for is like that emotional connection to the idea, the emotional connection to what you're wanting to establish as far as like what you're thinking about. And that could be missing here. And in a way, I get it why this Four of Cups is in your current energy. Sometimes you got to do it even if you don't feel like doing it. Right? Which I'm going to point all this out in your read when I jump in. You pull this deep, quiet meditation and stillness here. Yeah. I feel like, the Mercury does rule our intellect, our thought process, communication, of course, the way we understand and process information. I think there's a lot that you're trying to process at this time. And I feel like meditation and stillness probably is the answer here for you. There's a lot in this reading we're about to go into. There's some good things here as well. But when there's too much noise, Ten of Swords is the advice. When there's too much noise and we feel disconnected emotionally from our being, Four of Cups, it's like we have to go within. And I think that's something here that you've been actually doing more of. Very interesting. But I think it's like having to keep that habit up, having to keep doing it, right? The repetition of it. Let's see. Gemini. Pull this community card. Boom, there it is. Like I said. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot going on in regards to community here for you the month of April. And I think right now it's like you could be really thinking about community in particular. I think there's ways in which you would actually things you would like to change so that way you can better enjoy yourself, right? You may be unsatisfied with certain things at this time, or maybe you're feeling disconnected from people in your community. And possibly it's like you could be feeling disconnected from yourself. I see you really going more deep into your spiritual practices. Let's just say you've always been spiritual, right? I think it's like what you're doing here is like you're kind of diving even more deep into it than you've ever done before. It's very interesting where we're at, like collectively. Like, yeah, I read sort of in a realistic way, but trust me, I fucking know what's going on in the spiritual too. And we're fucking in a spiritual war at this time. So this is all about, with that Four of Cups, protecting your aura, what you subject yourself to energetically. Your emotional body picks up on a lot of energy here. You're very sensitive to energy. And it messes with your mind, Mercury, right? You could be like, why am I thinking this? This is not me. These thoughts are not my thoughts. Why do I feel this way? Well, I think it's because you have a very sensitive antenna, and I think it's like you're collecting a bunch of energy, subconsciously. So, I think you're learning how to master on a spiritual level your own vibration and your own, learning how to master your own energy, becoming more consciously aware of how to protect your aura, how to protect your energy. You have the World card here for the overall energy. And I think this has a lot to do with the world literally itself. I think one of the main overall energy for you is, I believe this World card is really talking about you getting reconnected to the world here, wanting to expand your world. It's very much connected to the 10th house, I feel, for you here. The World card, Saturn, right now, Saturn's in Pisces. Saturn's in Pisces. Pisces is your 10th house, Gemini, right? You have the North Node there. So, that North Node being there in your 10th house is really, you're feeling really drawn and pulled to wanting to create the ideal future and the ideal life of your dreams in regards to your career and your work and who you want to be in the world. And also, yes, the World card does deal with chapters and cycles, and the World card literally itself wants you to kind of build a new world. But that Four of Cups being here in your current energy, it's like I feel like I'm seeing you feel very disconnected from yourself. And I'm telling you, like, I'm so happy that the sun is coming to Aries, and then in April, it's like, Venus will come direct, and then Mercury will come direct. It'll still be in Pisces, right? And it'll be conjuncting Neptune and all that stuff. So it does feel like a lot of things in our life are dissolving, and it's hard to make sense out of things. And when you can't make sense out of things, and when you can't establish meaning to things, you feel like the Four of Cups. You're like, fuck, you just start disassociating or checking out, right? You're just emotionally exhausted and just disoriented. Right, and so I think you're trying to establish this connection to yourself here. And that's what's trying to happen, which is symbolic of the Emperor being in your challenge. I think you're trying to establish a deeper sense of connection to yourself. And I think your presence, your identity, I think it's like all these things are kind of being reshaped at this time. And it's interesting because the Emperor is like having to take control of your life, right? The Emperor is all the selves, right? The self-accountability, self-responsibility, self-reliance. And I think you're really having to like tap into that Emperor energy, tap into that Yang energy here. The Ten of Swords is your advice and put an end to the patterns and habits here that are keeping you in the Four of Cups. Because it's interesting, you know, the Ten of Swords says we can't, especially with Mercury being here, like we can't grow and expand based off what it is that we already know. It's like we have to expand our consciousness, which is why the Ten of Swords connects to the Hierophant. Because the Hierophant is the guide, the teacher, the educator, the authority that helps one get started with new ventures by providing them with new things. So I think here that you're being encouraged here to, Ten of Swords is to break free from the karmic patterns that you've been stuck in, right, and put an end to the things that aren't working. Because it's interesting, I'm kind of like seeing you in this loop. Like you almost like you just feel stuck. You do have the Justice card here in the future position. There will be a rebalancing that happens in the month of April to where you'll find more harmony and more peace. But I think with the Justice card, it's the lesson of discernment, like having to really be discerning of what you're giving your energy, your time, and attention to, because all these things are influencing and shaping your world. And I think the best way to move forward to be free from karma is to have strong discernment and to weigh things out. Like, for instance, the Justice card, she weighs things out, right, before she makes decisions. And how she weighs it out is, well, how is this going to affect things? How is this going to shape my reality? If I'm doing things that aren't good for me, well, it's going to make my reality hell, right? But if I'm doing the right things and I'm doing what is good for me, it's going to make my reality heaven, right? It's going to make it better. And so I do see this rebalancing act that's happening, but I think this is you also like having to like be really honest and truthful with yourself and come from a place of integrity. And, you know, being aware of how you're shaping and creating things in your life. It's like you're mastering energy here, like on a higher level here, like you're mastering energy, learning energy. You have the Nine of Wands here in the outcome position. And I think this Nine of Wands, the Nine of Wands is usually like when your will is being tested. It's a struggle, but it's also when your belief is being tested. I think it's just a natural part. I think what's happening here is like you're releasing old beliefs. And so, but that Justice card, by you having strong discernment and being like, no, this is what I need to do because it's the right thing to do. You're shattering old habits and you're shattering old beliefs, but there is resistance at first. So I feel like you're moving through this energy, but it still is a little bit of a test. You have the Ace of Wands here in the position of something you're unaware of that you need to be aware of here. Yeah, Ace of Wands is just energy, inspiration, motivation. And, you know, the Four of Cups is Moon in Cancer, so it has a lot to deal with the tides, right? The ocean and emotion. And so sometimes we'll get a wave of emotion where we're inspired and motivated. And whenever you get that, the Ace of Wands says, strike while the iron is hot. Because if you miss that wave and you don't act when you're inspired, you're going to find yourself in that Four of Cups energy again. And you're going to have to wait for the next wave to come. So when the wave comes, I feel like Spirit is saying, surf it. Like right now, you may not be motivated or inspired or not feeling like fired up to do something. And maybe that's okay for the moment, right? Maybe you just need to sit back and relax, right? And wait for that wave to come. It may be a couple hours, it may be tomorrow. But like whenever it does come, act on it. Clarify the world here for the overall energy for Gemini. You pull the Five of Cups here. You're letting go of definitely an old world, an old reality. And I think one thing too is like you're closing out past chapters and clearing a lot of karma at this time and processing a lot of stuff. Clarify the Four of Cups. You have the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, I just feel like right now, like you're not enjoying things as much as you would like. I don't even think everything's bad in your life. I just think like there's certain things right now that you're not enjoying or you're not satisfied with. Clarify the Emperor in your challenge. You have the Lovers here. Yeah, and you may be feeling disconnected from yourself, right? Your higher self. The Emperor and the Lovers. The Emperor is yourself, and the Lovers is the relationship to your higher self. The Lovers, like your relationship to the divine or God or the universe, whatever it is that you believe in. And so you're trying to seek and establish that higher connection here. Clarify the Ten of Swords as your advice. You have the Ace of Wands. Yeah, it's time to start new things here. I feel like you have all the answers here, Gemini. Now it's just about being clear and decisive, right? Ace of Wands is initiate. Act on what inspires you here. Be confident in yourself here as well. Clarify the Justice card in the future. You have the Devil card. Yeah, you're breaking free from the chains of the devil here this month and unshackling yourself from the things that you've been binded to. Bad habits, patterns. Definitely clearing a lot of karma here. Definitely a lot of karma. I see you clearing things being rebalanced. Clarify the Nine of Wands and the outcome. You have the Queen of Cups. Yeah, I see you emotionally feeling better, spiritually feeling better, but there still is that, you're still kind of going up against those old beliefs, but I think they're dissolving for the most part. They're dissolving for the most part, but I still see kind of in April, it still is that, there's still that fight against getting rid of those old beliefs, but I think you're really dissolving a lot of them though. Clarify the Ace of Wands. You have the Page of Wands here in the position of something you're unaware of that you need to be aware of. Yeah, Page of Wands is saying go have fun. Do what is enjoyable for you. What makes you feel satisfied. Page of Wands says, sometimes it's good just to start. You don't have to have all the answers. Just start. Be spontaneous, right? Allow yourself to be more spontaneous and not feel like you have to plan everything out, map everything out, have to have all the answers. It's just get started. Have fun. Start creating. But I do see your challenge here. I think your challenge at this time is trying to really, I get that you're really trying to establish like the connection to your higher self. And I feel like with this Emperor here, it's like it's like you're trying to tap back into like that fiery side of you, right? That passionate side of you. And the Emperor does have a lot to do with like discipline and self-accountability and like having to take the lead and make sure that you're on top of things and stay on top of things, right? It's control. I think that's one thing that you're kind of struggling with at this time. But you have it within you. So, yeah. So that's what I see here for you in your read, Gemini. I appreciate you for watching. If you want to book a personal reading with me, that link is down below in the description. You can ask me any question, if you need direction, confirmation, clarity, whatever it is that you're searching, I can definitely help you. If you're new to the channel, I encourage you to subscribe. And if you like the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Otherwise, than that, Gemini, I will see you and talk to you later.